In this video, we're going to be using graph transformations, but we're going to use a very easy trick, which is all contained in this grid formation. Along the top, it tells you where the transformation takes place. It can take place inside the bracket or outside the bracket. Then down the side, it tells you what changes. And what changes can either be the x coordinate or the y coordinate. And then it tells you how to change it. You either do the inverse or do what it says. On the left-hand side, we have the picture of a quadratic. Its vertex is noted to be 3, 1, and that is the graph of y equals f of x. The diagram shows the curve with equation y equals f of x. The coordinates of the minimum point are 3, 1. Write the coordinates of the minimum point on the curve with the following equations. So we'll go through them one by one, and we'll use the grid on the right hand side to work out the new coordinate of the vertex. So the first one, y equals f of x plus 5. If we look, the transformation takes place inside the bracket. So if we look at our grid, change inside the bracket, that means our x coordinate is going to change. Then how is it going to change? We do the inverse. Well, we're told to add 5. So the inverse of add 5 is subtract 5. So we subtract 5 from the x coordinate. So that becomes -2, 1. The y coordinate stays the same. If we look at the second one, y equals f of x plus 5. Well, the plus 5, the change is outside the bracket. That means we're going to change the y coordinate. And because we're changing the y coordinate, we do what it says. So we're going to add 5 to the y coordinate. Everything else stays the same. So the new coordinate is 3. 1 plus 5 is 6. The third one, y equals f of 2x. Well, it's change inside the bracket. So that means we're going to change the x coordinate. How is it going to change? We're going to do the inverse. Well, the inverse of times by 2 is divide by 2. So we change the x coordinate, we divide 3 by 2, so we get 3 over 2. I'm going to leave it as a fraction. Everything else stays the same. So the new coordinate is 3 over 2, 1. The fourth one, y equals 2 times f of x. Well, the 2 is outside the bracket. So we change the y coordinate. And we do what it says. So we multiply the y coordinate by 2. The x coordinate remains the same. So the new coordinates are 3, 2. In the fourth, we have two transformations taking place both at the same time. We've got -4 outside the bracket, and we've got multiply by -1 inside the bracket. That means we're going to change both the x coordinate and the y coordinate. So we'll do them individually. So inside the bracket, that means we change the x coordinate and we do the inverse. Well, at the moment we're multiplying by -1, so the inverse of multiply by -1 is divide by -1. So 3 divided by -1 becomes -3. And the -4 is outside the bracket, so we're going to change the y coordinate and we do what it says. So we're going to subtract 4, so 1 take away 4 is -3. In the final one, we've also got two transformations going on at the same time. We've got minus 1 inside the bracket and multiply by 6 outside the bracket. So we'll do them individually. We'll do the minus 1 inside the bracket. So that means we change the x coordinate. And how do we change it? We do the inverse. So the inverse of minus 1 is plus 1. So 3 plus 1 becomes 4. And then we've got the 6 outside the bracket. That means we change the y coordinate and we do what it says. So 6 times 1 gives you 6. So the new coordinates become 4, 6. I hope that made transformations of graphs a little easier.